Hi Libra, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Chiron in Aries that happens from 2016, 2019. I keep saying 2016, I don't know why, to 2026. And that's happening for you in your seventh house of partnerships. So probably a pretty intense place to get it. As a Virgo, I had that recently. This reading is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Libra, so it's all of you guys. Yeah, just be careful for who you partner up with, right? Like, just be cautious with that. Boom, Tower, right off the bat. It's pulls like this that makes me want to stop and start again. But let's honor it because I feel like there's going to be a good turnaround in this situation. So it's like maybe a little bit of a shock with regard to who your partners are, waking up and realizing that your partner is different than who you thought they were. Then we have the King of Swords. That could be you, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Secondary transits in fire, Sag, Leo, or Aries. I feel as though there's a really quick shift that's happening around you that's quite unexpected. I think that your natural reaction will be try to controlling this dynamic, but I don't think it's necessarily the best solution to the issue. Then we have the Chariot, which is the Cancer card, overcoming a situation, really finding peace, something coming in very quickly to help and support you. There's this kind of loving energy that is coming into your life to help and support you in your way of moving forward. I feel as though you are going to go through some kind of event that's going to make you rethink your partners. And so I feel like you will in some way try to understand through logic and reason about what that is. And that's part of the solution. The second part of the solution is getting into your heart and understanding on a heart-based level. So let's take a look at your astrology just to see what that's all about. I feel as though also Cancer people will be very important for you. And especially here we have the North Node in Cancer in your 10th house. And so this is going to be here for the next year or so until May 2020. And so in your 10th house of career and public status, I think that there will be people who come in to help and support you as some things fundamentally change in your life. So I think your go-to energy is the King of Swords, whether you're a man or a woman. You'll try to make sense of it and try to organize and rationalize and coordinate. But I think that the real answer will come through your heart, in which you understand maybe how some of the partners that you have connected with were not necessarily a reflection of who you truly are. And thereby, that's why those relationships changed, because in some way you know that you need a different type of person in your life. Whether it's business or whether it's love, you come to realize that you need a change. Now, Uranus in your 8th house is going to bring you some type of way of thinking about change and endings that's very unique. So you're going to have a very kind of, how do you say, a creative expression of problem solving, thinking outside of the box or whatnot. And so that's all going to be there for you in the 8th house. Let's take a look at your next card. We have the 10 of Swords. Boom. Okay. So I feel like there is the impasse of a situation. It's almost like this is Gemini, by the way, Sun in Gemini. So this is like taking a look at a situation. This is Juno, the karmic partner, and she's at the top of your chart, so that's really important. It's basically taking a look at people who maybe you have assumed were your perfect match, your perfect ally, your perfect boyfriend or girlfriend, and coming to realize that they're quite different from you. Chiron in Aries depicts an energy that has to do with really dealing with, how do you say, dealing with your, how do you say this? Dealing with who you are, right? And it's interesting in partnership because that's a mirror of who you are partnering with. So if you take a look at the people who are your partners in life and you see in them qualities and traits that are like, whoa, that's not me, you know you have like a diversion from who you truly are, who you really want to be, and how you're expressing that, because that's why those people are in your life. Here is the next message. We have the Queen of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Secondary transits in water, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And so I feel as though maybe a Cancer person in some way is helping you to rectify. The thing about water signs and water and Libra, it's okay, but it's somewhat a different energy. So if you don't have a lot of water in your chart and you're an air sign, these types of people are really healing for you, because they in some way provide answers to things that you can't answer. What I'm trying to say is the King of Swords, which is you, in some way is trying to organize your life, or what's fair and what's just. And I feel like as you decide what's fair and just and orderly, sometimes you reach impasse that you can't reconcile, that you can't make sense of. And so it is the creative, irrational water sign energy that can help you rectify through the heart the impasses. So it's like the impasse of disbelief, or something being illogical, something really not working out with your typical response or your typical approach, can actually be rectified. An impasse, this is an intellectual impasse, which is the Ten of Swords. And so those kinds of blockages to do with the mind can be reconciled with the heart. Just the same way that an air can help water signs when they're being in this kind of space of emotional irrationality, when they're confused and there's too much abstract and they can't implement any order. It's the air signs that come in and offer some kind of structure. Eight of Swords. So this is kind of the shrugs card. Shrugs means, it's a slang term, sorry. The Eight of Swords is a bit about shrugs. It has to do with like, I don't know what the answer to this is yet, but you know what? I'm going to figure it out later. It's like the Eight of Swords is the impasse, but it's a silver lining card, because it says that in some way there is a solution, there is an outcome, there is a direction that you're going. You just don't know what it is yet. You don't know exactly which way to go to find that solution. You don't know exactly how that's going to play out. But it's the irrational Cancer / Pisces or Scorpio who will in some way step in and say, you know, maybe I don't know. It's like the artist, right? Like, maybe I don't know, but we're going to find an answer. It's like, okay, a Libra thinks to themselves, like, what am I getting myself into? The water sign kind of pushes ahead. So maybe you'll find yourself with a partner with a strong water element or a water quality, because they'll add that level of kind of not having to have the perfect answer all figured out, which is good for you. Why don't we do a roll of the dice? And I'm going to have two number card dice and 2 for astrology. You can write these down if you want and just use them to guide when you're watching the readings or through this transit. So when you're asking yourself what's going on in partnership, then you are in some way can kind of relay it to this. Now, as I said, I had this in my life over the last 7 years as a Virgo and Virgo sun. And I feel like I've had quite a bit of relationship dilemmas and paradoxes come up in my life, in my personal life. And so I feel like some of those relationships were very troublesome or troubling or difficult to make sense of and to in some way negotiate, you know. But in some ways, I mean, I never seek to have problematic situations come up in my life, but I feel like I was exposed to relationship dilemmas I had never been exposed to before in my life. And those relationship dilemmas were in some way really pointing out some fine-tuned things in my personality I needed to work on that were causing a lot of strife in my life that I didn't need to have. So it pointed out things through those partnerships and through those relationships, and Chiron in my 7th house, I gained the things I was avoiding to confront in my life in general were illuminated through those partnerships, and I was forced to kind of take a look at them, whereas before I knew they were there, but I never looked at them. And so in some way that it was a challenging transit, but kind of enlightening as well. So hopefully that makes sense and helps you. So here we go. I'm going to do an extended on Vimeo. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute, but let's just roll the dice and see what you get. Ooh, you got double eights. I think that's good. I came to Canada in 1988, so that was a special number for me. Double eights, good luck. I like the number 8, and we have the 8 of swords here, so you have triple eights, which is very good luck. The planets you want to watch out for are Mars. So Mars is like breaking down of ideas, communicating in ways. You want them to tell you, this is archaic, but you want them to tell you exactly what they're thinking. That partner that with whom the tower is going on, you want to hear it, but then when you hear it, then it's going to be like you're going to be aware of what it is, and you want to move forward away from that when you do hear it. So it's like you know the pink elephant's in the room, so you ask your partner about it, and you know that the moment that the pink elephant is identified, it is going to be what it is going to be. It's like confronting these situations. Okay, so let's take a look at your next planet, and you have Uranus here. And Uranus is in your 8th house, so inventive new beginnings. Beautiful astrology here. Now Mars moves quite quickly, so you can kind of watch out for Mars in Aries. That happens once a year or so. Mars in Libra is going to be important. Mars in Leo. Friendships are going to be triggering that part of your chart. Uranus is going to be in your 8th house for the majority, if not the totality of this transit. So this is going to be all together with this like other beginning, other direction that you can take. The novel approach, you know, through the heart. But I think it has to happen. I don't think you can think it into being. I think you'll try to think it into being, and then you have to just let it happen. Be receptive. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful transit. I wanted to tell you I'm doing the extended on Vimeo in the February 2019 playlist and the super duper bonus playlist if you want to check it out. And I'm going to do a pyramid spread using the Tarot of Dreams. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful transit. Take care. Bye-bye.